Hello and welcome back to Raging Loop. In the last episode we learned a lot more background history on what's actually been going on, and then we ended the episode on this. And I guess we're gonna find out even more now. They died. Who is saying that? We don't know. Shocked, I turned around. Oh, who is this? It was a girl I'd never seen before. Oh, come on. They died. Yes, they did. They all died. You'll die too, surely. Welcome to Fujiyoshi, you poor man. The girl turned and ran, her skirt swaying behind her. Hold up, Mochi. Whoa, how did you know, Poop Man? Who are you calling Poop Man? And, well, your clothes surprised me, sure, but you should work on your acting skills. I mean, he also just literally looks the exact same, except he's wearing a skirt and has a bow tie on his head. Hey, this ain't a costume or anything. Huh? You're saying you wear that normally? Yep, I'm super poor, so the school uniform was the only thing I could wear, but Tai never stopped complaining about that. That's why I borrowed Haru's old clothes. They're cute, aren't they? Well, they are, but you're a guy, right? If I didn't already, I'd have assumed he was a girl. Yep, I have one. You can check when we're pissing together. I didn't want to see it at all. Are you uncomfortable with your gender or something? What? No, I'm a guy. Then why? There's no reason. This is just the way I am. The way you are? I'm an eccentric. There's something wrong with my head, so it's hard for me to get along with normal people. But I also can't just do whatever I please, so I ended up being a bit weird. So this is simply your nature? Yeah, speaking of nature, if it wasn't cold, I wouldn't mind going around naked. So basically, this was a guy with a unique sense of, well, everything. Unless he found something that really clicked, he'd have a hard time living anywhere, even in the city. You have my sympathies. Hey, Yasumi's is actually pretty easy to live in. You should move here, Poop Man. What does that have to do with anything? Living in the city is hard, ain't it? Nope, it's way more convenient than here. Really? I thought you escaped because something bad happened. Well, I can't deny that. You're a weirdo too, right? That one I can deny. Wait, really? I thought we were birds of a feather. Right, old man? Whoa, there was a weird old guy in the bushes. I think Poop Man's a real weirdo. I know, right? That's what Poop Man is. Poop Man. Please don't spread that name. I don't give a damn if you use Fusashi or Haruaki, just stop calling me that. Hassan? Ah, son. Did I look like a Middle Easterner? I was mildly bothered by the accentuation too, but he was probably avoiding using nicknames that were similar to Haru's name. Well, whatever, that works. Poop Man became Hassan. I was never Poop Man to begin with. You're close to the old man? We're fellow crazies. Well, the old man seemed to be enjoying it. Join us, Hassan. When the mist's clear, we can go steal chickens from Kami Fujiyoshi. Why would I do something like that? What are you, coppers? Why did he like me that much? Well, that might have been a good thing. He seemed to be a bit more unique. He seemed to be a bit more unique than the other two students. By the way, why aren't you with the other students today? Well, Haru was angry, so I felt it wasn't going to be fun with her. Why was she angry? Haru likes Yasun. Oh? So she doesn't like that Yasun seems happy about Chie coming back. I see. So, why was she mad at me? Haru actually wants Yasun and Chie to get together. Well, I sure didn't expect to hear something like that. So, she's helping the target of her unrequited love get his sweetheart? Yep. That's why you barging in and getting along with Chie messed things up for her. So, basically, I accidentally entered a love triangle. Does Chiemi know any of this? Pretty sure she does. Also, it's not a love triangle, unless Chie is also in love with Haru. It's not a triangle then, it's just a straight line. Pretty sure she does, but she doesn't do anything about it. He has a snowball's chance in hell. Man, this kid was harsh. So yeah, good on you, Hassan. Chie is yours. Is she now? And wait, are you okay with this? Why are you asking? Well, I haven't been here for long, but from what I've seen, you're wild with most people, but kinda gallant around Haru. Ah. Well, you're probably right. She's a childhood friend and a bit of an airhead, so I do worry about her. That's all. That's unexpected. You seemed like the type to mess with such people. I'd mess around with you to the very end. I owe a lot to Yasun, and Haru is an unfortunate girl. You know what? Asking too much at once isn't good, so I'll have you tell me more some other time. Ah, I already said too much. Hassan, what kind of magic did you use on me? He was the one who'd gone blabbing on his own. By the way, you said that someone died, did they? Well, I know the journalists did. Yasumizu's people are still alive, but they're all as good as dead. Why do you think that? Who knows? I'm not good at reasons, but, well, when Takumi said he was the snake, I had a bad feeling come over me. It felt like I could hear the wolves laughing. Wait, what did you just say? I could hear the wolves laughing. Before that? When Takumi said he was the snake? Takumi is the snake? That's what he said. I got some urgent business. Mochi, old man, see above. Huh? The wolf is coming. You knew? Shit, I didn't have the time nor the connections. Muro. What? That was my line. Why was he farming at a time like this? Thank you for the key. Oh, don't mention it, but don't walk around by yourself. Everyone's on edge as it is. About that, do you know how many humans the wolves can kill per night? Yumi went and told you about it, huh? I insisted on it. In fact, you had to have seen that coming when you sent her to meet me. The info I have is still limited, but I'm a bit worried. Sorry to bother you, but can you tell me more? Sorry won't cut it. It's a huge bother. I don't want to waste any time on this dumb shit. I have a farm to care for. I thought you and Chiemi would understand, but you're serious about this too? Well, he really didn't seem all that bothered by all this, but 2 people already died. What of it? Huh? Listen, people die all the time, and I'm always stuck cleaning it up. What? What is he talking about? Did you see the aftermath of the landslide uphill? It's been like that ever since the Nosato got to work on the place 8 years ago when it collapsed. They were too freaked out to even clean it up. I ended up digging out the workers' corpses and burying them. I had no idea that was such a big deal. Then there's the idiots from the city, coming here just to hang themselves or getting eaten by wild beasts. Me and the old man always have to deal with the mess. It's not rare for Saranaga to bring us corpses either. I don't know if they're mountain fishers or something, but it's dangerous upstream, damn it. Here no one cares. I pick them, give them all nameless graves and leave it at that. Beasts, corpses, you never know what you'll find in the mountains, kid. But this time it was in the village. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. I never heard of Asian black bears eating humans, so maybe we've got a pack of actual wolves here. You're saying that was done by beasts? And you're saying that was done by humans? What of it? We just have to create a night patrol. Why the hell do we have to kill each other? This person was hard to read. There was no denying he had a good head on his shoulders. He was reasonable and skeptical about the unknown. On the other hand, there were some things he put even above rationality. It felt like something you could call Yasumizu's rules. Or, better yet, fellowship. He looked at the situation from the perspective of, I gotta protect Yasumizu. He did whatever he could within those constraints, but he was in denial about the existence of enemies originating from within Yasumizu. To him, this situation was just a common case of some outsiders died, so what? Or maybe that was what he really wanted to think. That made the situation very bad. But I, being an outsider, couldn't say that. It's true. Like you say, there's something wrong with anyone believing such superstition. He looked displeased. What was I supposed to do? But I'm curious about what I asked first. Do the legends say that everyone dies the first night or what? I need to know how to feel about this. Oh, that won't happen. Wolves can only kill one person per night. Really? But why? What does the legend have to say about it? Did Bachan say again? No one can go against the laws of the mountain. Not even the Yomotsu Okami-sama. Yomotsu Okami? Wolves that have returned from Yomi, apparently. Huh? Weird. I felt like I'd heard that term before. Still, wasn't it weird that the laws applied to the wolves too? They were on the Yomi-Vita side, as in those opposing the mountain. And I was pretty sure the law of the mountain said that only one person could be killed per day. Lynching one during the day was the limit, and killing more than one per night was against the rules. Both would make you the target of the corruption. It didn't make much sense to me, but at least I found out that the wolves too could only kill one person per night. Sorry for bothering you with weird questions, I'll get out of your way. Oh, right. By the way, if you need an extra pair of hands, just ask. I won't meddle any further than I have to, but you're letting me stay here, so the least I can do is earn my keep. Yeah, I'm sure. His last reply was half-hearted, but at least I got a bit of the rules I was missing. When I came back to the dining hall, I found the students, Chiemi and Yoshitsugu, Yasunaga's little brother. Meiko had left. It's Poop Man. I mean, Hassan. Poop Man? What? The name still got a chance to spread. That aside, I had to find out what happened at today's feast. Recalling what Mochi told me made this kinda hard. Sorry, but can I borrow Chiemi? Wow, I sure am popular these days. Why, you can't just take a hint, can you? Haru, let's just help Mom. You say something too. It's probably something complicated. I'll be the one who breaks the plates. Haru, you be the one who holds him back. Huh? Hey, what's going on? Sorry about the commotion. What did you tell Yasunaga? He talked about today's feast. Things aren't looking good. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. Shikamochi told me that Takumi revealed he's the snake. He did. Are there any other snakes? Others? No. There's only one snake. The mountain gave 4 kinds of guardians. The snake could ask the mountain whether one of the participants was a wolf or not. The monkey was the only one of which there were 2. They had the power to know who the other monkey was. The crow could determine whether the person who was lynched the previous day was a wolf or not. And the spider could ask God to protect one of the other participants from the wolf's attacks. Honestly, if this so-called God really had that power, I'd complain to him that he should protect everyone. And as far as I knew, anyone who didn't have a guardian was either a powerless human or a wolf. The humans could kill a person during the day, while the wolves could kill a person during the night. It was a battle for survival. The humans had to do everything to find and kill the wolves. If they couldn't find a single wolf during the feast, the whole event was completely meaningless. The wolves would simply crush the settlement. If you ignore the fact that it's murder, the fact that you didn't choose a wolf suspect today is pretty bad. It's a day wasted, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I told Yasu. Then there's the fact that the snake outed himself. It's pretty bad. She understood it well. We couldn't expect the help of the police or getting a forensic investigation, not to mention we were up against supernatural monsters. As things were, the snake's power was the only way to find out who was a wolf or not. In other words, losing the snake would mean losing their most powerful weapon against the wolves. But he should be fine for today. The spider will protect Takumi. Huh? Hold on, we also know the spider? No. Yasu suggested that whoever it is keep it a secret so that the wolves don't find out. Sharp. Kanzo agreed, and we went with that. Seems like the right move. It does. We probably should have done the same with the snake. They really should have. It was best to secretly gather info without revealing their guardians. Especially for the snake. He should have kept quiet and used his power to find out as much as reasonably possible before revealing himself. I knew it was difficult to figure out right away, but the fact that the snake, the most important role, was the first to be outed was really bad. I mean, from a strategic point, I actually don't think it's the worst, because now that Takumi said he's the snake, the fact that no one else suggested that that's not true means that either he actually is, he was not lying, or that the real snake, if he was lying, is trying to stay hidden, which would be a dangerous game to play. So I think it's pretty safe to say he actually is the snake, which means that everyone else can trust what he says, which is very, very valuable in a game of werewolf. If you have some people that you can 100% trust their word on. Of course, he is now in danger. But what the wolves should do in this situation, and what I feel like they probably would do, is target other people. Because the spider, the one who can protect, only knows to protect the snake in this instance. They only know the role of Takumi. They could at random protect someone else, but there's almost no reason to do that unless they're doing it for personal reasons. Like, I don't know, for example, someone like, if Takumi was the spider, he would protect, what's her name? Kaori? The mother character. I don't fully... Oride. I don't remember what her first name was exactly. Just for personal reasons. So, if that is not the case, then the spider will always protect the snake, which means that the wolves will never attack the snake. They will attack someone else because they know attacking the snake is pointless. It's interesting, and I'm interested to see how it will play out in the first night. From my perspective, Takumi had been so focused on protecting Yasumizu himself that he'd made a terrible mistake. He appeared calm, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd realized this and was actually pretty shaken. Yeah, what I forgot to mention was that if he hadn't mentioned that, then everything else in the first night would have been kind of random, and it might have ended up similarly badly. We don't know how it will actually end up yet, but there's almost no logic to a first night if you know nothing. Like, anyone could die, anyone could protect anyone, like anything could happen, and the thing is, on the second day, you can't really trust a lot of people and what they're gonna say, but we'll see what happens. What do you think will happen? She asked like she already knew the answer. The spider was told to protect Takumi. The wolves obviously heard that. If they try to go for him, the spider will stop them, right? No idea how though. Yeah, and with that they lose one day's worth of murders. Chiemi seemed to process this as a logic game too. If I were a wolf, I'd ignore Takumi and go for someone else. You think so too? Who do you think they'll go for? I don't know. I have no idea what the wolves are prioritizing. Let me speculate. I think, well, it obviously heavily also depends on who the wolves are. Like, they can't go for themselves. I think you would want to keep, what was his name? I've forgotten. The outsider in quotation marks, the guy who lives in a mansion. He starts with K, I think. I want to keep him alive as a wolf because he's kind of distrusted by the village generally. You would probably want to go for someone who's intelligent and someone who is generally trusted by the village. So, while Chiyomi seems to check the intelligence part, I don't know, like she said before, she's also kind of an outsider in the village. Who would I go for? Probably Yasunaga would be my guess. As someone who makes sense. Like, he seems like a reasonably intelligent kid. Relatively calm, level-headed. He would make a good target, I think. You also could go for someone who's just, like, physically strong. Like Takumi. But obviously, well, he's, you know... if he wasn't protected by the spider. And then there's a couple people I think that don't make good targets. Like Haru, I think, is not... like, who cares about her? I don't think she's, you know, important to get rid of. Same goes for Kaori, I think. I'm just gonna call her that from now on. Yeah. The others, kind of toss-ups. Yo, you also, I just remembered, you might want to get rid of Rikako. She also seems fairly intelligent from what I've seen so far, though we haven't really seen a lot. They prefer the blood of women and children. Okay, we're going there. Alright, I see. They probably go for the younger people. Scary. Don't worry, you're not the youngest girl here, oh no. I will kill you. It's fine, you're still the prettiest. Good save. I'll forgive you. Though that still sounds pretty bad. Who knows what they'll do before killing me? I'm sure there were plenty of things they could conceive. Apparently there was another layer to the worst possible scenario. If they're not killing based on their preferences, then they'll kill someone whose death would shake the villages. From that perspective, whose death would shake the villages the most? Probably Haru, actually, if we're looking at it from that perspective. Someone like Haru or someone like, what was his name? The old man. Not Takumi, but the actual old man. Not the crazy old man, but the other old man. That would be someone influential or a player who's invaluable to the humans. Yeah, Kanzo, that was his name. That would be Kanzo or Yasu. That seemed likely. Yasunaga was the only one who'd done something helpful for the villagers this time. He seemed to be the leader of the high schoolers and had a good head on his shoulders. But his ideas required Kanzo Makishima's approval, which made it pretty clear he was a standout. Honestly, I'd expected him to take more initiative than he had, but the fact he considered the younger people's opinions showed real leadership skills. In any case, he wasn't someone the humans wanted to lose. Oh yeah, did you decide who Takumi will investigate? Yeah, it's Kyonosuke-san. Huh? What's with that choice? What do you mean? He asked for it, and we wanted to prioritize those who were the least popular. It would make them safer. I wasn't so sure about that choice. Those who were confirmed as non-wolves would have much more freedom to act. At the very least, they wouldn't be suspected as wolves who were just trying to exploit the situation during the feast. That being the case, shouldn't they have opted to choose a potential leader to investigate? He makes a fair point. I will give him that. I didn't really know if Kyonosuke Nosato had the skills, but from what I could tell, he definitely lacked the influence to lead. If they wanted to secure a reliable leader, they should have went for someone like Kanzo Makishima. But wait, if the snake's target is killed by the wolves, the snake's power will be wasted, right? The dead can be investigated by the crow, after all. No, those killed at night are chosen by the wolves, so they're obviously humans. The crow can only investigate those chosen and killed during the daily feasts. Oh, I see. Makes sense. Whatever the case, perhaps investigating Kyonosuke wasn't that much of a mistake. Did that mean that they were actually doing a decent job? Well, it'd be pretty bad if Kanzo was the one to go. Chiyomi looked gloomy. She and I probably felt that it wasn't a complete blunder, but still had a bad feeling about it. I wonder if a strategy would be for the spider in the first night. This is a very tricky one because obviously the safe play is to protect Takumi. But dependent on the... That's why it's a gamble. Dependent on the psychology behind the wolves, it might be an interesting play to protect someone else that would be a worthy person to protect, I guess. But that really depends on who the wolves are and what they will do. During the feast, everyone had to lock themselves somewhere all alone around every sunset. It was called sheltering. Well, I could understand it, considering the legends, but I still wondered why the students didn't go to school. It was a weekday. When I'd asked, they just told me, why would we leave when it's so dangerous? The idea that they couldn't leave when the mist was here was so popular it affected their daily lives. Also, the people at Kamifujiyoshi had to know that Yasumizu was covered in mist, right? Considering the school there probably had few students to begin with, the non-presence of the Free from Yasumizu would normally be a serious problem. I knew it was a settlement for the ostracized, but did they really neglect this place that badly? Looking at it from that angle, it was safe to assume that the local villages, Kamifujiyoshi included, actually concealed the Feast of the Yomi Purge. I thought about that and similar things in room 203 of the student dorm, the place I was given. Chiyomi had given me some cup ramen and hot water. We chatted for a moment about being neighbors for a while and then she returned to her room. Weird we could be so casual about this, considering there was a chance we wouldn't meet again tomorrow. After dinner, I took a bath. The gas boiler was pretty damn old, so learning how to use it took a while. There were some working electrical outlets too, so I could charge my phone. I didn't have a wristwatch, so that was important. By the way, my room didn't have a kitchen. I was pretty sure the other rooms didn't either. From what I could tell, no one here actually cooked or ate at their own homes. They all relied on the dining hall to provide their meals. This settlement had not only a unique culture, but a way of life as well. I couldn't help but wonder how something like this began and survived into the modern era. It was an interesting subject to research, but for now I had to worry about the fact that my life was in danger. Anyway, what were my options now? I wasn't part of the feast, but walking around at night was probably dangerous regardless. After all, I had memories of getting killed doing exactly that. From a logical standpoint, that was probably just a dream, but it had a quality to it that made it hard to believe it was. I had to be careful until I was certain. Then again, I had a record of surviving by just not making any noise at night. Maybe I should have stayed awake and looked around. Also, Takumi had said they were gonna have someone keep watch at night, didn't he? Was he gonna do it himself? Considering the snake's importance, he shouldn't do something so dangerous. Shit, he'd barely decided anything in the feast. I wasn't getting enough info either. I felt like I barely knew the basics. Talking during the feast meant giving info to the wolves. But if the humans kept too many things hidden, the wolves would end up knowing way more than them, and that was just dangerous. Still, there was a limit to what I could do in my situation. If I kept being the messenger I was today, I could create a huge imbalance of info myself. Not to mention I could be deemed suspicious and lose the residents' trust. What was I supposed to do here? Was it best for me to just stay quiet and wait for the feast to end? That wasn't like me at all. There was a mail slot on the door. I opened it up and looked outside. Everything was still covered in mist, so I couldn't see much. I could only see the handrail and the branches going in the hallway. But maybe I could see some intruder if I kept staring. Not likely. After all, this was the room at the end of the second floor. Haru's and Chiyomi's rooms were closer to the stairs, so I couldn't see anyone going to attack them. The only time I could see the monster come would be when it was coming for me. Maybe keeping watch like this was the most important thing if I wanted to stay alive, but I found it hard to put my own life on the priority list. For some reason, I felt like if I died, I'd just go back to the starting point. Yeah, better not think that. Anyway, I had to stay awake. I still had many things to worry and think about. May, Wednesday. What? As I woke up and tried to move, my head rubbed against something tough, and then smacked into the doorknob. I writhed in pain. What was going on? Did I fall asleep against the door? Was I more tired than I thought? I was glad I didn't die at all, but this was a failure in my eyes. Sleeping in an unnatural position made my whole body hurt. I wobbled over to my fully charged phone. It was 6 o'clock. That was early morning for me. I'd have loved to just go back to sleep, but I was too curious about the feast. After washing my face with hot water and putting on my shoes, I decided to take a peek through the mail slot. Outside, I saw Chiyomi standing there with a knife in hand. I reflexively stepped back, tripped, and fell on my ass. What the hell was that? There was a woman standing before my room with a weapon. I'd only caught a glimpse, but that was enough to conclude that I was dealing with a scene straight out of a horror movie. What could have prompted this? Did she suspect I was a wolf? Or was she a wolf herself? She knocked on the door, making me squeal a bit. Haruaki, are you awake? Would she kill me if I replied? Wake up! I need a hand checking on everyone. By the way, I'm armed, but it's just for self-defense. Say that sooner, damn it. Oh, so you are awake. Don't worry, just put the weapon away. I hesitantly peeked through the mail slot and saw her hopping around, showing me her empty hands. After meeting up with Chiyomi, we went around the dorm and woke up the students. All of them were alright. While they got ready, we went to the Nosato mansion, just because it was close. Yasumizu was still misty and unpleasantly silent. I walked carefully, just like yesterday morning. I couldn't write off the possibility that a werewolf would jump out of the mist and tear me apart. It would be over for me. I was walking ahead, dragging Chiyomi by the hand, careful about where I was going. If something happened and I got eaten or something, Chiyomi could either fight back or run away. Is someone there? Oh, Nosato. It's Fuzashi and Chiyomi. Where? Oh, there. We peered through the mist and the gloomy frown appeared. Hi there. Looks like the mansion was safe. Of course. It's old but well protected. Not even monsters could make it in, surely. I see. Then can we all take shelter inside? Why should I let you? This is Yasumizu's problem, not mine. I see. Good point. Then we'll just get moving and solve the problem, I guess. Huh? Wait, it's dangerous. We need to be in groups. Really, I was beginning to think this guy was best described as all bark, no bite. Though prideful and vain, he wasn't as smart as he claimed to be, as shown by his inability to take charge of the feast. Also, his fuzzy attitude was probably just him making up for his fear. It was entirely possible he was just putting on an air, and that the mystery of Yasumizu, or rather Fujiyoshi, was actually scaring him. Anyway, we went downhill and met up with the students. Even the familiar road can be scary. Yeah, mists sure are weird. I can get naked and no one will get mad. Stop that, you fool! Haru Makishima was acting weird. Mochi was definitely expecting a retort from her. She didn't say anything, and her face was so pale you could tell through the mist. Hanging on her head, she was lightly shaking. Everyone else could see it too, but no one chose to address it. Questions would quickly become suspicions after all. Perhaps she was a wolf and did something horrific last night? As we all thought similar things, she suddenly collapsed to the ground. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Her hoarse scream shocked everyone. Haru. I just... Sorry, but right now Yeah, I can understand if you're on edge. Be careful about where you walk. We then slowed down. Haru, not touching anyone's hands, was at the rear of the group. As we walked, trees and stones drifted in and out of visibility through the surrounding mist. Our vision was so limited it felt like the world around us was changing with every step we took. A tunnel of trees, a path on the paddy field, a stone platform, a concrete stairway. We walked between realms every passing second. I was still wondering about Haru. What was on her mind? Was she afraid? Or wary? After descending for a bit, we arrived at the plaza. I see all of you are alright. We met 2 more people in front of the dining hall. Are the elders sleeping in? Ba is still getting dressed. She's not feeling too great right now. Let's check on those who aren't here yet. Come with me, Kyo. Why are you ordering me? Because we might need some manpower. Fusashi, you come too. This was the first time he'd ordered me to do something, but it wasn't a situation where I could be happy about him relying on me. Yes, of course. He probably had a bad feeling. Namely that he wouldn't be able to rely on a certain someone ever again. As I passed by Kaori, I heard her whisper. Yasunaga, can you help? With what, Mom? Finding Yoshitsugu. He's missing. Everyone probably had a bad feeling about this. The 3 of us guys checked the houses. Yasunaga, Chiyomi, and Mochi walked around the settlement. Yeah, I didn't mention him at all earlier, because I kind of felt like he was just completely unimportant. But the fact that he seemed completely unimportant kind of made him a good target for a first death, to be honest, from like a metagame perspective. He just seemed irrelevant to everything. We'd agreed to split up and start searching. The misty village was silent. I couldn't hear anyone chatting. I'd seen these buildings from the outside, but it was my first time actually walking in. The shabby buildings built using blackened planks were more or less buried in vegetation. Some were on the verge of collapse. The way their frames jutted from the mist reminded me of the carcasses of giant beasts. I walked on a line between the grass, a footpath surely. I often heard something small jump in the grass. It was probably just some bugs or frogs, but it still made me flinch. Ikako lives here, right? Yeah, in that house. Shit, why must she live in a place like this? If you don't know, there's no way we would. I'd guess it's the Miguruma's orders. To my knowledge, she moved to Yasumizu of her own accord, and there's no need for her to be here in the first place. Maybe she knew the mist was coming and came to cast a spell or something to keep it away. That sure didn't work though. Akumimuro, I don't mind you being respectful of me, but you should choose your words when talking about her. She's a legitimate Kamifujiyoshi family head. Like I care. This is Yasumizu. She said it herself, didn't she? And the feasts were all served on the same platter. Ikako, are you alright? Apparently Takumi didn't like the Uematsu family, or the 4 head families in general. Now that I thought about it, though she wasn't as disliked as Kiyonosuke, the villagers in general weren't fond of Rikaku Uematsu. It seemed like a pretty obvious outcome though. Yasumizu was the settlement for the ostracized. It was impossible for a member of one of the head families who openly spurned them to form a good relationship with the locals. Rikako emerged before too long. She was wearing her usual strange getup, and she didn't seem any different from how she looked yesterday. I need to check on Meiko. We moved on to the next house. It felt like Rikako was urging me, so I woke the girl up. Reiko, it's morning. Well, I couldn't imagine Rikako raising her voice, while the other two probably didn't feel like they had to get involved with the girl. After a few calls, she finally came out, still half asleep. Aww. Reiko, I'm glad you're alright. Here, take them to the dining hall. Come with me, Rikako. Watch your step. Yes, She was apparently trying to get my attention, so I turned around and said, yes? I'm sorry. Her sudden apology left me completely confused. She then departed alongside the other two, leaving me alone with Takumi. Are you sure we should go on without Kyonosuke? He'd be useless anyway. I only brought him along in case it was the Uematsu's mock priestess that died. But now I know who got killed. It could still be the old wolf guy, right? Shut up. If old man Kanzo was around, he'd have woken up earlier than anyone and searched the length of Yasumizo 3 times by now. Sorry. Sorry. His house is over there. I followed him in silence. I couldn't think of anything to say.